D2M is a worldwide sensation game where players must use bombs called BIM to defeat other players in order to survive. Ryota is a 22-year-old guy who dropped out of school and became addicted to the game. He treats his mother poorly and refuses to get a job despite her pleas. His abusive behavior towards her stems from his hatred for his mother's new husband following his parents' divorce. He quickly rises to the top and becomes the best player in Japan and one of the top 10 players in the world in the game. He even marries a girl named Himiko in the game to the point where he truly falls in love with her and wants to meet her one day. Ryota wakes up without memories and finds himself dangling from a tree branch attached to a parachute. To make matters worse, he discovers a chip implanted in his hand. Suddenly, Ryota discovers a wide hip pouch filled with mysterious cubes. Curiosity gets the best of him, and he presses a button on the cube triggering a countdown. Ryota tosses the cube before the countdown ends, only to discover that they were bombs. As Ryota makes his way onto the beach, he's confronted by a man who seems to know what's going on, but instead of answers, the man starts throwing bombs at Ryota. Ryota runs for his life until he reaches a cliff where he jumps into the water, not before leaving a nice departing gift that blows the psycho's mind literally. Upon reaching the shore, Ryota realizes the terrifying truth: he's living a real-life version of the video game. Seeking answers, he decides to take the bombs off the other guy and explore the island to understand what's happening. As Ryota explores the island, he stumbles upon a stunning blonde girl under a waterfall. But when she notices him, fear grips her, and she runs away as fast as she can. Determined to find her, Ryota uses the chip in his hand, just like in the game, to track her down. However, Ryota's search leads him to an unexpected encounter with Tara, an old man taking a massive dump behind a bush. Despite the awkward introduction, Tara reveals what happened on the plane. The players were given various types of grenades, including ones with timers, explosive impacts, tracking capabilities, fire-setting abilities, remote control options, and even a grenade that creates a black hole. Because Ryota seemed to know about the game, he was given an electric shock to his head, causing him to lose his memory. Tara also reveals that the only way off the island is to collect 8 chips, which means killing at least one person, or 7. With no other choice, Ryota and Tara team up to increase their chances of survival. As Ryota and Tara journey together, they cross paths with Kira, another player in this deadly game. Kira, seeking revenge for years of abuse, has just killed his own father and taken his grenades. Despite Ryota's attempts to reason with Kira, the young psycho chases after them. Tara ends up tripping and breaking his leg, forcing Ryota to go solo against Kira. Things take a dangerous turn when Kira throws his implosion black hole grenade at Ryota. Miraculously, he manages to avoid getting hit by throwing his bag at it. As the fight intensifies, Ryota gets behind Kira and tosses a grenade, aiding him. Shockingly, Kira survives the attack, causing Ryota to freak out about what he was about to do. In the end, Ryota regains his composure and ties Kira to a tree, taking Kira's grenade back in supplies. Since Tara is unable to walk or run, which makes him an easy target for other players, Ryota decides that the best option is for Tara to hide while he continues to search for more chips. As Ryota ventures into the forest, he hears a strange noise and follows it. Suddenly, he spots the girl standing on a cliff. Ryota approaches her cautiously without warning. The girl throws a grenade at the forest, causing searing gas to melt everything in its path. Ryota runs out of the forest and finds her standing in front of him. Ryota tries to talk his way out, but she throws a grenade at him, screaming that all men are her enemies. Refusing to back down, Ryota charges at her, dodging her taser. However, when he falls, he kicks her, causing her taser to hit her own case and knock her unconscious. Moments later, she wakes up to find herself being carried by Ryota. She activates a timer grenade, fearing that Ryota will take advantage of her body, as several other guys tried. But he deactivates it, showing that he is not like the others. The girl says her name is Himiko and cries. Ryota takes pity on her and invites her to join his team. The group shares information, and Himiko reveals that she figured out why they were all there. Apparently, someone had sent letters to people asking if they wanted to make someone they hated disappear. All they had to do was fill out the information about that person, and the person would vanish. It seems that everyone on the island is there because at least one person hates them. Himiko suspects that her own friends may be responsible for her situation, while Tara was targeted for being a jerk boss. As for Ryota, it turns out that his own mother sent him to the island. He was always yelling and arguing, insulting her and breaking her heart. Just as the group is processing this information, they hear a rustling sound in the bushes. Suddenly, they see Komodo dragons, giant carnivorous lizards, approaching. As they make their escape from the ferocious Komodo dragons, Ryota orders Tara to take Himiko to safety while he goes back for their supplies. But before they can get far, Tara gets bitten on the leg by one of the deadly lizards. Thankfully, Ryota manages to fend off the attacking beasts with a well-timed grenade blast, and the group finds refuge in an abandoned building. While they rest, Ryota notices that Himiko is looking at a photo of herself dressed in cosplay. He tries to make conversation, but Himiko kicks him away, declaring that she doesn't trust men. Suddenly, the radar pings, causing Himiko to panic. Masashi, a ruthless mercenary, appears out of nowhere and attacks Ryota with a knife. Tara tries to save him, but Masashi dodges his attack and slices off Tara's fingers. Ryota tries to fight back with a stun gun, but Masashi kicks him off a ledge. Ryota then wakes up between some tree branches, having had a dream about holding hands with Himiko in the game. As he makes his way back, Tara informs him that Masashi has taken Himiko, leaving Ryota devastated. Ryota then sees Himiko's cell phone wallpaper and recognizes that she is the same girl he married in the online game. This newfound hope drives him to save her. Meanwhile, at another abandoned building, Himiko is tied to a bed with Masashi and his partner Soichi by her side. They want to torture her but are interrupted when they detect Ryota on their radar, prompting them to search for him. Ryota manages to make it to the room where Himiko is being held captive. He unties her, and the two then escape together. Ryota throws a grenade which kills Soichi, but Masashi catches up to them and holds Himiko at knife point. Ryota sees a chance to attack, but Masashi kicks him in the abdomen, and Ryota falls to the ground. As Masashi bends Ryota's arm backward, Ryota begins to contemplate his life, wishing that he had the chance to meet the real Himiko. In a moment of bravery, Himiko launches herself at Masashi, only to be thrown off. But at that moment, Masashi realizes too late that Himiko has activated a burning gas grenade, which ignites and explodes. The duo runs to escape but finds themselves cornered with only an opening above. Ryota reaches the opening and pulls himself up, but Masashi grabs Himiko. Thinking quickly, Ryota throws down a timer grenade as they hold onto each other in a tight embrace. The bomb detonates, making the ground beneath them shake. Himiko questions why he would go to such great lengths to save her. Without hesitation, Ryota reveals that he did it because he cared for her, thinking that she was the same Himiko he knew online. She feels happy to hear it, she's the true Himiko. However, at the same time, she is deeply saddened that she cannot open up to him and reveal the truth. Lost in her thoughts, she dreams of her virtual wedding with Ryota, longing for him to hold her in his arms. Suddenly, she awakens to find a sinister figure looming over her, and she cries out in terror. Ryota jumps into action, scanning his surroundings with his radar, but nothing shows up. Just as he lets his guard down, a woman attacks him from behind, but Ryota is quick to react, kicking her off and knocking her unconscious. The woman's name is Shiki. She's been on the island for 6 months, and her ex betrayed her to get his last chip and leave the island. As Ryota and Himiko check on Tara, they stumble upon a doctor named Date who had just tended to Tara's wounds. Seeing it as his responsibility to save lives, while Tara and Himiko trust the doctor's skills, Ryota is cautious. Suddenly, a plane drops food supplies on the island, catching the attention of the group. As they rush towards the parachuted briefcase, they pick up a radar signal from nearby competitors. Ryota spots his old friend Ota also chasing after the same briefcase, determined to get their hands on the goods. The two old friends leap after it but end up tumbling over a slope. As they rebound, Ryota and Oda pull out their cracker bims and lob them at each other. The briefcase filled with supplies ended up on the beach where Ryota spotted Oda grabbing it. Ryota demands Oda to drop everything and leave, but Oda is too calm, making Ryota suspicious. He detects that Oda had set up a trap. Ryota cautiously approaches the briefcase, and Oda bites down the detonation button in his mouth. Suddenly, explosions erupt everywhere. However, Ryota outsmarts Oda. He never got close to the case. When Oda realizes that Ryota is still alive, he throws a bim at him, but Ryota dives into the sea to dodge it. As Oda walks away with the food briefcase, Ryota falls to the ground, completely drained of energy. Himiko and Date arrive, and in a moment of relief, Himiko embraces Ryota, taking him by surprise. After regrouping, Date informs the team that Terra's wounds are getting worse due to the Komodo dragon's venom. Himiko tells Ryota they should go to Murasaki's place, but Ryota insists on bringing Date along. Terra expresses his fear of being left alone again, but Ryota reassures him they will be back. During their journey, Himiko tells Ryota about a fight she had with another girl while he was fighting Oda. She reveals that Date had thrown a grenade at her, causing Himiko to believe that he's dangerous. However, Ryota has started to trust Date and urges Himiko to do the same. As they split up to search for medicine, Date finishes packing with some medicine. He asks Ryota to trust him, and Ryota receives the briefcase. However, Ryota senses something off and signals Himiko with his radar. Himiko warns Ryota that the briefcase is a trap, and as Date presses the button, Ryota gets caught in the explosion. Himiko is filled with worry and uncertainty as Ryota is nowhere to be found. Date, the doctor they trusted, approaches her and demands to know how she discovered his trap. But before he can act, Shiki emerges and attacks him from behind. 10 minutes prior, Himiko asked Shiki, who used to be a nurse, for medicine to save Terra's life. Shiki points her toward the medicine room, but she saw her ex, Date, the one who betrayed her in the past. Shiki reveals that the briefcase contains a remote-controlled grenade, and Himiko rushed off to warn Ryota. Back in the present, Shiki tries to snap Himiko out of her daze, and they run off together. Date emerges from the window and confronts Shiki, who is on another rooftop pretending to run away. Date lures Shiki into a chase, and as she gets closer, he detonates the wall near her, causing her to lose balance and fall down. Himiko is overcome with grief as she struggles to survive without Ryota by her side. Regretful tears stream down her face as she laments not confessing her true identity to him. Suddenly, Date tosses a cracker grenade at her, but it bounces off her chest harmlessly. Date realizes that he can't press the button, and when he checks his radar, he sees that Ryota is still alive. Ryota reveals himself, threw the briefcase across the room, and jumps into a cellar when Date tried to trick him. He picks up the grenade that Date has thrown and declares that his old naive self is gone. Date makes a run for it and leads Ryota near the trap he has set up, but Ryota is too smart for Date's tricks and reveals that he has moved the trap. The wall near Date detonates, knocking him out in the process. As Himiko asks Ryota if he is going to kill Date, Shiki appears and tells them not to dirty their hands since this is her battle. Shiki puts the sickle close to Date's neck, but he apologizes and asks for forgiveness. Shiki breaks down in tears and decides to take care of him instead. As they make their way back, Ryota and Himiko suddenly find themselves under attack by Terra, who has lost his mind and is now out to get them. The venom of the Komodo dragon has taken its toll on Terra, causing him to hallucinate and become delusional. In his crazed state, he believes that Ryota and Himiko have abandoned him and that they have enough chips to escape the island without him. Ryota is taken aback by Terra's sudden attack and demands him to stop. The situation only intensifies as Terra launches homing bims at them, one of which Ryota is able to smack away, causing it to detonate harmlessly on the ground. Using his radar, Ryota tries to locate Terra and make sense of the situation. He feels guilty for abandoning Terra and for repeating the same mistakes as his father. As Ryota reflects on his past, he realizes that he was wrong to think that adults were selfish. Suddenly, Oda's illusion appears and agrees with him, telling him that he should have faced reality instead of running away from it. But Ryota finds it hard to come to terms with reality, and Himiko steps up to protect him as she strikes a pose familiar from the game. Ryota is convinced that she is the real Himiko. Just then, Tara unleashes yet another homing beam, determined to kill Ryota and Himiko. But Ryota is not willing to give up. He grabs the homing beam and deactivates it before using his radar to locate Tara. He spots Tara running away and gives chase. However, Tara trips and falls down, and the Komodo dragons surround him. As Tara apologizes to Ryota, Himiko, his son, and his wife, he realizes the error of his ways. He then targets himself with the homing beam, ending his life. Ryota mourns the loss of Tara, feeling the weight of his death on his shoulders. Himiko comes to him, hoping to offer some comfort, but instead hears Ryota's wish to leave the island. Himiko shocks Ryota by offering him her chips and begging him to leave without her. With tears streaming down her face, she insists that Ryota should kill her and leave. Ryota refuses and admits that he finally sees her as the true Himiko he was looking for. He reaches out and takes her hand, his heart beating rapidly with excitement. Without hesitation, he leans in and kisses her, with a newfound sense of purpose. Ryota vows that they will leave the island together as a couple and start a new life together. Watch this next